Hello and welcome. Here we are, Mindwave TV, Mindwave in your ears, in your mind. We are talking about why what you tell yourself is so important. This is gold. If you don't know this stuff, this is going to be mind-blowing. And if you do know this stuff, it's going to be a really great reminder. So why what you believe and what you tell yourself is so important. This works both ways. Whatever you're saying, whatever you're believing, works both ways. You will experience the greatest version of your life or the worst version of your life, depending on what your subconscious beliefs are. If you stick with me and you watch this and you take notes, this is going to be game-changing. I promise you that much. I didn't know this stuff years ago. I was all over the place. I was going through life. I didn't know who I was. I was telling myself all sorts of things. I'm this, I'm that, I'm stupid, I'm rubbish, I'll never be able to do this. And guess what? I was experiencing exactly that. And it wasn't until I learned all these techniques that I started implementing the exact opposite. I started telling myself what I wanted to believe. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So, it's not just all fluff, but this is so important. And when you try this, when you practice this stuff, you too will see that your life and your environment changes accordingly. So what are we talking about? We're talking about why what you tell yourself is so important. This has been so powerful for me. This is what's helped me have a long marriage. It's helped me build a business. It's helped me follow my dreams. It's just helped me in all walks of life. So if we change the way we believe, we can change the way we act. Now this comes from another phrase, another saying, which is really important. Change your beliefs and you'll change your thoughts. Change your thoughts and you'll change your habits. Change your habits and your life opens to unlimited possibility. Let's say this one more time before we dive into this training. Change your beliefs and you'll change your thoughts. So let's start with our beliefs about what we think about ourselves, what we think about the world, what we think about others. If we change those core beliefs, we change our thoughts about that. And then when we change our thoughts, we change our habits, our self-destructive habits, our good habits, our bad habits. And once we change our habits, we change our life. Our life completely changes. So here we go. I'm excited because this is so important. Stick with me. I promise you this will be a game changer. What we're doing here is we're observing all of this that's going on, everything that's going on, everything that we're saying about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, the world, other people. Number one, we observe. We simply observe what is going on up here. The next thing we do, number two, is we catch. We catch anything unwanted, anything negative we're saying about ourselves. So for me, I had a whole list of stuff. I can't do this, it's just the way I am, or I'm dyslexic, so I can't blah, 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 blah. These are all unwanted things, and some of them might be true. So we're not lying to ourselves. Some of these things might be true. But the whole thing we're doing here is we're going to observe, we're going to catch, we're going to learn to reframe what we're saying, and we're going to rewire. So essentially, we are here. This is what Mindwave is. This is Mindwave. Empowering you with the tools, what have I written here? With the tools to control your thoughts and create the life you love. It's simple. We're trying to make life easier and better for all of us. So this is how we start. Observe. Simply observe what's going on up here. I've been teaching and I've been making notes from all of my clients, and when we do this self-talk stuff, I take notes. So here are the ones that I've caught recently, and I want to share them with you. What we're doing is we're catching all of the negative, unwanted things we're saying about ourselves, to ourselves, about the world, about other people. We're going to catch them, we're going to reframe them, and then we're going to rewire ourselves for the positive, optimistic, neutral version of this. And why are we doing this? Why? Why do we do this stuff? Because when we do, we change our reality. What you'll notice is with negative, pessimistic people, although they might be negative and pessimistic for a reason, they are living a self-fulfilling prophecy. Same on the other side, with the optimistic, with the positive people who are just so like, everything works out for me. Guess what? It most likely will. Now we can go deeper into this with the science of all this, and there is science behind this. It is fascinating. You've got a choice to be one of two people. Now, even if you don't believe this stuff yet, stay with me because I'll convince you. But it's a choice. You have to wake up every single day and go, am I going to be this person that goes and contracts and stays in victimhood and, you know, things aren't working, I can't do this. Am I going to be that person? Because we know where that goes, to a slow and low vibration where we pull in other things to be pessimistic about, to be negative about, to blame. Or do we want to be this person who fakes it till we make it, is open, optimistic, neutral, even if the reality of what we're living in doesn't match up? Lack of evidence isn't evidence of lack. We have a choice. So the first part is awareness. We have to observe. And if we're hearing a lot of pessimistic, negative stuff, that's our key to go, okay, I think my mind is continuously saying a lot of crap here. We're going to catch all of these negative and unwanted thoughts. We're going to reframe them and we're going to rewire. Hello, 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 here we go. These are the ones I've caught recently from my clients, and I'm not going to name who they are, so it doesn't really matter. I hope you don't mind if you're watching. I am overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I don't have the experience. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. That was mine. My difficulty is ... I genuinely struggle with ... I'm really struggling. I'm easily distracted. I find it difficult to XYZ. I'm feeling lost. I constantly feel. I panic when ... I have zero common sense. Now, none of these are bad. These all might be totally valid. You might hear yourself saying the same kind of things as well. However, if you repeat any of these things, you will experience the same in the future. What we have to do is we have to hear these things. What was the one that got me there? I constantly feel, and it doesn't matter what you say, negative, pessimistic. I constantly feel these words like constantly. Anything after I is. This is what we've got to learn. So we don't walk around and say, oh, everything's fine. You know, everything's all right. I know, it's not about that. It's about catching what you constantly are drilling and stating as a fact. I used to panic when I walked into a city because it was a lot of stimulation and it used to trigger my anxiety. So I used to walk around saying, I panic when I go into town. That's a statement. I panic when I go into town every time. That's what I'm telling myself. So guess what? Every time I walked into a city, doesn't matter what city, my past self has told my present self that I'm going to experience it in the future. So I'm expecting to be panicky. I'm expecting to be overwhelmed. I'm expecting to not have the experience in the future. I'm expecting to struggle with X, Y, and Z. I'm expecting to find it difficult. I'm expecting to constantly feel lost. I always ... No, you don't. No, you don't. Sometimes maybe. So what we've got to do is we've just got to simply catch what we're saying. So what I'd love you to do, Sophie, Amelia, Karen, let's start with Amelia, if you don't mind me bringing this up. I struggle with anxiety, especially in school and singing lessons. It gets so bad. Perfect example. First of all, I'm sorry you're experiencing that. I experienced it too for 10 years. Even my throat's going while I'm saying it now because it in the past has triggered these kind of memories. I struggle with anxiety. I want you from this moment on to decide that that's part of your past. Right now, in this moment, are you feeling anxiety? When you say, I struggle with anxiety, you're telling your whole being that you're going to continue struggling with anxiety. So you might be experiencing it, but we don't have to carry anything from our past into our future. So especially in school, in singing lessons, it gets so bad. So up here, you've got a story of I have anxiety. I've got anxiety, that's my thing. And when I go to singing lessons, which I'll continually do, I'm going to expect it to get so bad. Again, my compassion. So here we go. This is what we do. We're going to change all of this stuff. So I want you, Amelia, to start with this. In the past, and it could be, what have I written? In the past, or recently I have, or I used to. In the past, I've had anxiety. Your present self is now free from the version of you that's clinging on to anxiety. In the past, I've had anxiety, especially in school, in singing lessons. It's been so bad. So the difference is we've taken out two words there. I struggle is definite, that's what happens. And also, it gets so bad, right? So let's change it again. In the past, say it with me, in the past, I've had anxiety. That's from my past self. Oh, poor girl. And especially in school, in singing lessons, it's been really bad, right? When you say it like that, you are free momentarily from that experience. And what we want to do is change the ending. So we've decided to take the statement and we decided to put it in the past. So we can almost look at it and go, in the past version of myself, I've had this. Now let's return to the present, because let's be real, we're not lying to ourselves. We've got to figure this stuff out. In the past, I've had anxiety. It's been horrendous, especially in school, especially in singing lessons. It's been so bad. But now, I'm watching these videos, I'm learning, I'm open to experience feeling calm. That's not a lie. Okay, you might still get anxiety today, I hope you don't. But if you set your future up to be a neutral, optimistic, positive, then you are breaking that cycle of expectancy. So, Amelia, you're expecting to be anxious in the future, and someone else might be expecting to be overwhelmed in the future, maybe even today. So if we simply just grab it, I don't want anxiety, here's one, and we change it slightly to be an optimistic neutral. Now, it might not instantly happen. It might not just work like that. You might get anxiety again. I hope you don't. But if you expect to maybe not get anxiety, guess what happens? Guess what happens? The timer goes off. I don't feel like we're quite there. We're nearly there. In the past, I felt overwhelmed. It's been so overwhelming when I start a new project. But I'm open to feel calmer, optimistic, and feel trust, or whatever you want. You're not lying to yourself. You're slightly changing the ending. So change all of these thoughts from the past and change the future. And stop carrying anything from your past into your future. I was an alcoholic. I was anxious and had panic attacks for 10 years. I was dyslexic. I very much might be dyslexic. I do not carry that dyslexia into my future anymore. And guess what? My writing's better, my reading's better, my communication's better. Is there a possibility that I've decided to paint a different future where I'm not the dyslexic self I was? I had orange glasses at school, I couldn't read, I couldn't write very well, I always felt less than. Everybody else was doing, I didn't know how everyone was figuring out life and doing stuff. I've built a business out of nothing, I've got great relationships, and I swear it's because I haven't carried my past with me. I carried my past till I was about 25, 26, 27, and then I went, you know what, I'm done. I don't want dyslexia, I don't want panic attacks, I don't want depression, I don't want to feel shit about myself. And I didn't believe anything other than that, but I wanted to. And this is how we do it. So I wrote a note saying, but I do feel overwhelmed. I don't have the experience. I do constantly feel this. I hear you. You might feel overwhelmed. You might still feel anxious. But what we've got to do is we've got to decide to cut ties with that, even if we don't know how to change it yet. Work with me, I can help you change it. Work with many other people, they'll help you change it. You know, I met a guy who I've known for years and years and years. He's had anxiety for 20 years. But that's part of his story. Hi, my name's so-and-so. You know, we get talking about, I have anxiety. Guess what? You will have anxiety forever until you stop saying, I have anxiety. Even if you say, in the past, I've had anxiety and I'm working on it. That breaks the cycle. Yeah, you've still got the work to do. Yeah, you've got to still implement things and make the change, but stop repeating what you do not want. Look at your texts, look at your emails, look at what you're saying to people, listen to what you're saying. This is how we do it. Hey, I'm struggling with my anxiety and depression, and I'm at the point of giving up for good. I'm so sorry to hear that. I want you to DM me and we'll change that story. But before you do that, I want you to say, in the past, even in the recent past, in the very recent past, I've been really struggling with depression, with anxiety and depression. And I have been at the point of giving up. That slight change allows your present self to go, maybe there is some hope. And guess what there is? I've taught so many people from the rock bottom to find the light. There's a light within us. We've got to find the switch and just crank up that dimmer switch. I've been there too. There's a reason why I'm like this, because I've been down there. Get in touch, DM me, anyone else that is interested in this stuff and just wants to give life one more go, wants to break through from anxiety, anything that you're working on. It doesn't matter what the thing is, there is hope, there is change, it is possible. I've done it myself, that's why I'm talking from experience and I'm just bluntly saying how it is. But also I've helped so many other people do it too. So I know it's possible. So we don't lie to ourselves. We don't say, everything's fine. I had anxiety, now I don't. That's not how this works. In the past, I've had anxiety. In the past, I've had depression. In the past, I've been overwhelmed. I used to not know how it all works. I used to struggle with this. I've been struggling with this. It's all separating. We're separating it all. And we're putting it in the past, even if the past is just here. We're putting it in the past. But now, in the present, I'm open to finding solutions. I'm noticing that I'm not always depressed, whatever you change it to. So someone says, this typical speech you're parroting undermines the suffering people are going through. So I hear you, I completely hear what you're saying, but I completely disagree. I'm not undermining anything. I'm saying I have been there and there is a loop we get caught in. I started with compassion. Anytime I read something, I say, I hear you, I feel for you. So I'm not undermining, I'm giving a solution. I never had these solutions. So when I found these solutions, they were life-changing for me. So anyone that is going through anything, DM me and we'll have these conversations. I'm here to say, hey, if you're going through anything, there is a solution. They're saying your issue was unique to you alone. Yep. No one's suffering issues are equal to another. I'm not saying that either. Everyone's issues are different, and everyone's issues have different severity, of course. But there's a common factor that if we implement this stuff, we rewire the brain. We rewire ourselves to not even be optimistic, but change to a neutral. And that's when we can do the work. So if you want to get in touch, please do, and we can talk through it. And I'll explain this stuff in more detail. So Indigo, I love you. Wonderful human being. Vi Queen, Gina, Professor Torres, Pippa, Paula, One-Eyed. Let's talk this out. I'm happy to explain this stuff, and even if we don't agree, we can find some common ground. DM me if you want to work on yourself, if you want to break through, if you want to change that story, if you want to get out of any pattern unique to you. We can do this. So DM me, peace, hello, let's do this, whatever, and we'll get to work. I love you all dearly. Have the most amazing day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Let's say bye over here. And let's say bye over here. Love you.